moment of rising authoritarianism, where some would rather silence our communities than share power. But history teaches us that every attempt they have made to weaken our voices has only strengthened our movement. The National Urban League is here today to say that the promise of America cannot be realized if we allow voting rights protections to be gutted piece by piece. We reject the false argument that protecting black voters' rights is discrimination. Limiting discrimination is not a violation of the Constitution, it is the fulfillment of it. So today we say, we will not be silenced. Say it with me, we will not be silenced.
We will not be silenced.
We demand fair maps.
We demand fair maps.
We demand voting rights.
We demand voting rights.
And we demand a democracy that includes all of us, not just some of us. The law is on our side, history is on our side, our future is on our side, and you, we, the people, are on our side. Thank you.
All right. How you doing out there? You feeling powerful yet? Are you sure? Are you really sure? My name is Melanie Campbell. I'm President and CEO of the National Coalition on Black Civic Participation. I'm National Convener of the Black Roundtable. And I came here this morning because I don't know about you, but I'm mad as hell. You mad yet? Are you powerfully mad? That's all right. I'm standing with some of my colleagues here this morning. You know, I've been out here for a long time, longer than I want to admit. But the one thing I do understand is the God I serve, the God we serve, the God you serve, is never going to leave us wanting. These folks think they got the power, but say it with me, we are the power. We built this country, and we're not going nowhere. Church over there, for nearly 50 years, the National Coalition, we have been in the trenches, fighting every single day for equal representation, for civic engagement, for economic empowerment, and for your and my right to vote. Over 60 years ago, the Voting Rights Act of 65 became the law of the land. It was bipartisan. Matter of fact, in 2006, Congressman, we reauthorized the Voting Rights Act because we went down to Houston and Texas and across this country and demanded that our voting rights be protected. A lot of folks don't understand. It's a law that has no teeth because of these folks in here. And they want to take the rest of the teeth out of it. But we're not going to let them do that. Because they want us to feel powerless. You know, it's an evil stuff going on in this town. I've been here 30 years. I've never seen the kind of evil that's going on. So we have to be armored and understand who we are and who we are. We built this country.
A minute or two.
Did we? So we ain't going no damn way.
Great.
We built it brick by brick. As a matter of fact, we helped build this and that over there and that on 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue.
So the first thing I'll ask you is,
Black people, we are a mighty race. They never stopped coming for us.
where are you from?
We had the first Reconstruction that came for
And
us.
what brings you out here
Then they
today?
did Jim Crow, and they came for us. And then there was the Voting Rights Act, the Civil Rights Act And then the Voting Rights Act.
And are
And
you
the Fair
have
Housing
concerns
Act.
about the
And
chipping
we
away
went,
at
and
the
then we
Voting
had the
Rights Act?
audacity. It's clear why they're doing
Larger
this.
thing.
We had the audacity to elect a black man twice and a black woman to be the vice president and almost became the president of the United States. And there are people who don't want to share the country that we do. I know I'm getting close to my time. So, you know, I'm a call and response girl.
There's
Because I
been
believe
an
we're
active
going to put it in the
debate for a
atmosphere.
while about how to make it feel as
And we have to believe it in our gut. And no matter what they think they're going to decide in there, we are the power. They say we are the power. We are God's children. We built this country. We will not be erased. Say power to ballot. Power to the people. Power to people.
Power to the people.
Power to ballot. We are America. We're not going nowhere. God is on our side. Peace and power. Let's do this. Let's stay in the fight. And always there's an election. There's an election. No matter what they do, we will not let them take our vote away. Peace and power. God bless.
Let me quickly thank the persons who have organized this most necessary event. I don't know all of the names, but I know that they deserve some expression of appreciation. Would you give them an expression of appreciation, please, all of the organizers? I have been asked to
How are
be
you
curt
doing?
and laconic, pithy
My
and
name's Mike with the
concise.
Associated Press.
I will do as
I'm
best
here
as I
talking to
can,
folks
given
about
that
being
a member
here
of
and why it's
Congress
important to
will
be here,
rarely
but
use one
either of
word
you
when
be
speaking
comfortable
to.
talking to me on camera?
Sure.
So, dear friends, let me just remind you
Yeah, I
that
can
this is
listen to
about
the hearing
race.
right now.
Oh,
This is about
That's fine,
race.
yeah.
It started
I have an idea what's going to
I'm
happen.
going to walk you through every event.
I
But
believe
that's
you.
when the first persons of African ancestry were introduced into the colonies that became the United States of America. This is about race. They were brought here because of their color. They were identifiable. The Civil War ended 240 plus years of slavery. But it
So,
didn't end
you're gonna look right at me.
racism.
We're just talking.
After racism, there was
First
convict
things first,
leasing.
can I have
Convict leasing lasted for
Too
almost
sunny?
a century.
Yeah, exactly.
The one
It was
thing is
ended,
the
but when
oh,
it
like,
ended,
I might
it
not be
did
able to
not
say
end
yeah, no
racism.
problem.
I won't take up
After
too much time.
convict
So
leasing,
no
we
problem.
had
I don't have you.
segregation, lawful
First and last name, can you
segregation,
spell
it?
another form
Josh
of racism.
J-O-S-H-U-A.
When lawful segregation was ended with Brown versus the
And where
Board of
you from?
Education, it did not end racism. Racism
And you're
exists
here
in the
today
United
for
States
this
of America
case.
to this
Why is it
day,
important?
and we're going to fight racism. Are you prepared to fight the racism that the Supreme Court has to address? Will you stand with me and fight against this racism that will be hidden under the guise of doing something that is simply politically expedient? That's what the Supreme Court is saying. If you
And there's
draw
been an
these
active
lines,
chipping away at the
and
Voting
in
Rights
your
Act that
mind
people
you
fought so
harbor
hard
hate
for
and you
over 8
are
years ago,
racist.
how does,
But
you know,
if you
how does
simply
this fit
say,
into that? How does
I
that
did
feel?
it for political advantage, it's okay, because I'll never be able to prove what was in your mind. That's where the Supreme Court is bringing us. So today, our message to the Supreme Court has to be very simple and stiff. Supreme Court, just remember that there is still racism in the United States of America. Remember that ending slavery didn't racism. Ending Brown versus the British passing Brown versus the British that they did not end slavery or racism.
And when it comes to voting rights, what are your major concerns about this case today?
But will you please remember that this court does not have the last word. We the people have the last word. And we the people will take a stand against any decision that does not include what we the people desire that is lawful in this country. And having Section 2
And this
of the Voting
court,
Rights Act is lawful.
is
We must protect Section 2
weighing
of the
one
Voting
direction
Rights
and
Act. Let's do it
this and that,
together.
and how
Let's
does-
do it
how do you feel
now.
about
Let's do it
courts
tomorrow. Let's do it
where I
forever.
worked in the
Thank
last
you.
few years?
willing
for
to fight
campaigns and
for
organizing.
that long arc of
And I am
justice.
here on behalf of Common Cause,
Thank you very much.
representing
Thank
our
you.
members.
How are you?
From every
Good,
single
yourself?
Good. My name's Mike with the
congressional
AP.
district in this great
I'm
country.
Out here talking to
And we're
folks.
here
Would you be
today
willing to talk to me?
because we know that redistricting is so much
get this
more
word up here.
than just lines on a map. Can I have an amen?
And just like I told your neighbor here, you're looking right at me. We're just having a discussion. Can I have your first and last name and spell them for me?
And there must be a fair future
Great. And where are you
for
from,
all.
Chuck?
Annapolis, Maryland.
And let's
Excellent.
be
And you're
clear,
also here today in front of the court. What brought you
I
out?
am. I'm an old Quaker.
for far
and,
too long, some
my mother
politicians
worked with
have
Eleanor
been
Roosevelt on
great
fair housing in the
of the
50s.
game. They've been
And,
growing up
the
in
civil rights,
secret, in
movement
back rooms,
is
using their
part
power
of
to
life.
protect their own jobs,
And
not
this
to serve the
case
people.
is so important. I mean, it not only
We
is
see
about
you.
voting rights, not
And
only
we're here
about
to say,
representation of
no.
minorities.
What do we say?
None of us is free
Now
until all of
they
us
can
are
hear
free.
you.
And
Right now
feel very
inside
strongly about that. They
this
have
building, the Supreme Court
ruled
is reviewing
incorrectly in
Louisiana
previous
versus
cases.
Slade.
They may do
A
so
case
again.
that could
But we're going to
silence
keep at
our
this until we
voices
create a
for a
better
generation.
It's fair to
A
you.
case
Yeah,
that
and
could block the
you know,
Voting Rights
like
Act
you
and
said, they have kind of
disproportionately harm black voters and
worked
other
against this
communities.
over the past several cases.
We will not
John
go
Lewis
back.
fought
Just
so hard
look
for
at our
and
history.
across the Edmund
The
Pettus
women's
spread
suffrage
for.
movement, the labor movement,
Without
the civil
that, the Voting
rights
Rights Act is just
the
a
LGBTQ rights
doesn't
movement.
have
They
any
all showed us
And
that
so it is
progress
essential
work when
that
we the
they
people, the people
understand
stand
the
up,
importance
speak
of
out,
this.
and
Not
demand
just the black
accountability.
folks, this is
They face intimidation.
important for
They
all of
even
us
face violence,
to
but they
stand up
never gave up,
for
and neither
fair
will
rights
we.
to everyone in the
And
country.
to everyone that's marching
Thank you,
through
sir.
streets
Appreciate it.
and phones right now in your offices, we also see you.
My grandmother
Your voice matters in this fight
lived out her life at a
because
Quaker
this is
retirement
the
community, and
Sandy Spring?
to coast.
no, and
And we are not alone. The majority of us are with us. Candidates are polls show that 80%
Ron.
say their district lines
Okay.
are vital for democracy. That's not just a party, that's a mandate. So the question is, who side are you on? Will you stand with politicians in backwards? Or will you stand with the people? We call on you to stand with the people, to stand for our Constitution, and to stand for voting rights. Stand by the people, right to fair representation, our right to a fair vote, and the right to a fair future for all. Our voices will be heard. Our votes will be counted, and our future will be just. ¡Se puede! Let's do it again. ¡Se puede! Sí, se puede. ¡Se puede! ¡Se puede! Sí, se puede. Thank you.
Good.
We amended the U.S. Constitution to protect black voters from discrimination. When that promise was broken, so 95 years later, at the height of the civil rights movement, with massive bipartisan majorities, Congress passed the Voting Rights Act, the nation's most important civil rights law. Protecting thereafter Congress repeatedly reauthorized the Voting Rights Act. Again, with massive bipartisan support.
We'll cross the river together. Yes.
But now, today, our multiracial democracy is once again in jeopardy. The threats come from gerrymandering, from voter suppression, from a Supreme Court that has repeatedly gutted the Voting Rights Act, from a Trump administration that has voting rights enforcement in the Justice Department, from a Congress that turns a blind eye to the problem, and from extremist politicians and judges rolling back voting rights and rules that they think they can get away with. But they're on the wrong side of history. Because the law is on our side. The facts are on our side. The people are on our side. Black Louisianans and voters of color nationwide have fought too long and too hard to let the freedom to choose their own leaders slip away. When voting rights hero John Lewis passed away 5 years ago, he reminded us that democracy is not a state, it is an act. And every generation must do its part. This generation will do its part, am I right? Will this generation do our part? We will. We will pass the John Lewis Voting Rights Act. We will pass the Freedom to Vote Act. We will pass statehood for the people of Washington, D.C. And we will never, ever, ever stop fighting for our democracy. Thank you. Good morning. My name is Reverend Terrence McKinley. I am the Vice President of Movement Building and Strategy at the National Black Child Development Institute. And I'm also the pastor of Campbell African Methodist Episcopal Church. The late Assata Shakur once said, "It is our duty to fight for our freedom. It is our duty to win. We must love each other and support each other. We have nothing to lose but our chains." Assata's words echo across generations. They are a sacred charge, a modern song of resistance. They remind us that love is not passive, that freedom is not a gift, and that duty, holy duty, is the bridge between the world we intend and the one we are called to build. The ink of injustice has stained this nation's maps for too long. Lines drawn in secrecy have written stories in silence, yet truth, like our people, refuses to be silenced or erased. This fight, this moment, is bigger than Louisiana. It is about whether America will finally live up to its promise, because when lines are drawn in silence, they don't just divide districts, they divide destinies. Louisiana is an exception. Louisiana is not an exception. It is an example, a mirror reflecting the soul of our nation. 1/3 of Louisianans are black, yet only 1 in 6 congressional seats reflects their voice. This is not democracy, that is distortion. And when representation is fair, communities rise, children flourish. Data tells us where maps are fair, laws are stronger for child health, education, family well-being. History tells us when the Voting Rights Act was enforced, black children born in protected counties rose higher, lived longer, and dreamed bigger. At the National Black Child Development Institute, we proclaim with power and purpose that every black child should be born at a healthy weight, should learn safely, should eat well, breathe clean air, and see themselves reflected in the books that they read. Because when policy is just, children are protected. When power is shared, hope multiplies. And when our children thrive, democracy itself breathes again. So we stand here. We stand here in the shadow of the Supreme Court, and we must tell the truth. We must. Somebody say we must. These systems were not designed for our full thriving, but we protect what our ancestors built, and we create what our children deserve. We are not just guarding old structures. We are building new ones rooted in love and justice. We are not just defending democracy. We are redeeming it. The prophet Amos said, "Let justice roll down like waters and righteousness like an ever-flowing stream." That stream began with our ancestors, and it flows with all of us who are here today. This is Sankofa, reaching back to draw forward with strength from those who marched before us. We must dream forward and act now. Somebody shout, dream forward, act now. We must do this because we recognize that we, as we gather today, we are not in despair but in determination that every generation push the line forward. And so we push until maps reflect justice. We push until every law honors children. We push until every voice is counted and heard. We push until the lines that once divide us become the lines that unite us. We push until they're lines of equity, lines of possibility, lines of shared power. Because we fight for black children, we fight for the very soul of our nation, its heartbeat, its hope, its promise. And when we rise, when our children rise, when black children rise, we all rise. So it's our duty to fight. It's our duty to win. We must love each other. We must support each other until freedom is their very air that they breathe, until justice rolls down like mighty waters. We will not stop until. Somebody shout until. Somebody shout dream forward. Dream forward. Act now. Act now.
All that was prepared to continue getting into trouble with all of you.
I got the flag
We will
above it.
push forward to make sure our communities
He ain't got the
are
flag above it.
We will continue our work on safer
Oh,
prison like the
that's
Justice
priceless.
We will continue to fight for the language access at the colleges and schools because it's an issue that's especially critical for immigrant communities.
It's like you gotta catch it just right because of the way the wind is
It's
blowing.
far from being realized. And if Section 2 is weakened, the effects will be felt for generations to come. As our demographics change in this country, our political representation must reflect our population. Because ultimately, this fight is a fight for the foundation of our multiracial democracy. So we stand here together today with all of you in this fight that generations before us have also fought for our communities. And we declare loudly and proudly that not only do we belong, but we are here to stay. Thank you.
One day, when the glory comes, it will be ours, it will be ours. Oh, one day, when the war is won, we will be sure, we will be sure. Oh,
Look what I got.
Hands to the heavens, no man, no weapon. Formed against, yes, glorious destiny. Every day women and men become legends. Sins that go against our skin become blessings. The movement is a rhythm to us. Freedom is like religion to us. Justice is juxtaposition in us. Justice for all, justice specific.
Hello. Good day, everyone. My name is Lewis, and for over 3 years I have served as one of the Robinson litigants, fighting for a fair and just and equitable congressional map in the state of Louisiana. And for those same 3 years, I was elected to the Louisiana Public Service Commission as the youngest and only full black person to ever serve on this body in Louisiana. A district that was only created after the threat of VR grave litigations the same year that I was born. For me, our fight for fair representation is multi-generational. I'm reminded about someone I learned so much about as a young boy, my great-great-great-grandmother Liza. Born in Sheraton, Louisiana, in 1873. She moved there after her mother and her father were released from a plantation in New Orleans. 8 years she was born after slavery ended. My great-great-grandmother, known as Alberta, or we like to call her Mom, was born in 1901. She was born 5 years after Plessy v. Ferguson. My great-grandmother, Viola, who raised me and I lived with her until 2012, was born in 1920. She was born the year that women got the right to vote. My grandmother, Stella, who's probably watching right now, was born in 1948. 6 years old. That's how old she was when Brown v. Board of Education came before the Supreme Court. And it was 5 months before her 18th birthday that the Voting Rights Act was passed. And then there's my mother, Nicole, who was 5 years old before Louisiana finally desegregated every school in 1976. That's 152 years from the date my great-great-grandmother was born to this very moment. She had a letter that had been passed down in our family from generation to generation. And she asked, did they see you? Did they hear you? Did they value you? It was 3 years ago that many and I were at the redistricting session at the state legislature when I asked the state lawmakers that very question. Do you see me? Do you hear me? And do you value me? I was tired. I'm still tired. And we are all tired after fighting every session for a fair map. And time again, having the state of Louisiana reject us. And reject a map that didn't dilute black voters and our power. We had to go to federal court to gain rights our lawmakers denied us. There's not a right that a black person has in Louisiana that a federal court didn't give us. And it was only after litigation, after litigation, after litigation that the state of Louisiana and the lawmakers finally gave us a fair map as the only way forward. But here we are today, now facing the threat that our fair map will be stripped right from under us. And with it, the very protections of the Voting Rights Act that the generations I spoke of, my forefathers and forefathers, fought so hard for in these people. I am the youngest of the Robinson interveners, and the most senior member of us all is Dr. Chris Robinson. He was 28 years old when the Voting Rights Act was signed, while I wasn't born for another 28 years. You see, we are in this fight together. This is a multi-generational fight because we all need the Voting Rights Act, now more than ever. The history that we showcase why we have moved forward, but we still got work. And today, we, the Robinson interveners, some of us who had to stay home in Louisiana, some of us who are inside the courtroom, and some of us who are outside right here with you, like Dr. Mayer and Dr. Washington. We are standing here asking the Supreme Court, do you see us? Do you hear us? Do you value us? Because we shall not lose. Thank you. Woo! I stand here like so many before me as a black woman, as a voter, and a leader of an organization that knows representation isn't just a favor, it's a foundation. Do you agree? Today's case asks whether black voters in Louisiana will finally get fair maps, and whether the Voting Rights Act still has the strength to protect real communities in the real world. Louisiana's black population, as you have heard, deserves an equal opportunity to participate in the political process. Only one congressional district isn't balanced for black folks. That's silencing. And it ripples across the policies that shape daily life in schools, in jobs, and in healthcare. AAUW's mission lives at this intersection. When maps erase people, classrooms lose resources, civil
civil rights protections stall. Student parents are forgotten. And women's economic security is sidelined. You know that's true, right? Because voting rights are women's rights. They are education rights. They are family-sustaining wage rights. When our communities are visible on the map, our needs are visible in the law. So to this court, I say respectfully and firmly, the Voting Rights Act is not a relic. It is a lifeline. Colorblind without context too often becomes power blind, history blind, and reality blind. Remedies must see the harm women and black voters still face and repair them. Design maps that see black voters, women, and students as full communities, because when we are visible on the map, we are visible in the law. And fair maps are the foundation of fair policy. When they try to shrink our voices, we must grow our voice. When they try to turn back the clock, we must wind it forward and turn out, just like today. When they try to divide us, we must link arms, students, scholars, leaders, and workers. And because when women vote, we change the conversation. Black women know that we change the conversation. We change who is at the table, what is on the agenda, and how boldly we pursue equity. Fair maps make that change possible and also durable. Our democracy works with all owners in making their voices heard. AAW will continue to teach the skills, support the leaders, and defend the guardrails, because truth is a civic muscle. Please join us in every organization here for this fight. And as we know, this isn't just about Louisiana. We're all here for fair maps, for fair chances, and for a future where every voice counts and every vote matters. May this court affirm what America promised so long ago, that the right to vote, undiluted, undistorted, and undenied, belongs to all of us. When I say fair maps, you say fair chances. Fair maps.
Fair chances.
Fair maps.
Fair chances.
Fair maps.
Fair chances.
Thank you.
Thank all the women and elders that came before me. Can we get some round of applause for them? It's not easy to come up here and come across the country to talk about injustices, but it's what we must do every day, more and more at these entire times. So I'm here, my name is Russell Armstrong, and I'm here on behalf of Black Teachers Lab. I'm a senior manager for policy and campaigns. We exist to transform black communities into constituencies that change the way power operates, locally and nationally. We work to make black communities powerful in politics. We close the gap between our communities, black communities, and the tools needed to build that power, especially as the rules continue and strict. We're allowed for good.
While for those in power keep experimenting with our rights to freedom. It's been 60 years since the passage of the VRA. 60 years is less than a lifetime. This is not ancient history. And there are people alive today who still existed before we had actual rights to vote. That's why this matters. We have had laws protecting the rights of black people to pursue their political rights and fair representation for less than the time that some of you have been allowed. First Shelby, now this. It's imperative that we call out these injustices here. We cannot entertain a deliberate lie that racial discrimination somehow is not worth protecting, but is instead our fault, and that we should embrace racial discrimination. They want to keep us boxed out of power. They want to take us back to the times of Jim Crow, where they're cracking and packing districts, creating one set of rules for themselves and another set for us. And when I say that, let me be clear. I mean certain and specific people, including this racist administration, who want to turn back the clock to Jim Crow and Reconstruction. We at Black Futures Lab understand that we're ready. And that's why we stand here today with all of these proud partners. We stand with partners like LDF and Black Voters Matter because we know that folks in Black rural America, in small town America, have the capacity, just by numbers of votes, to change the balance of power across the South. We are more than a third of the people in Louisiana, yet they continue to try and keep us down. Since 2022, we as an organization have deployed teams into districts like Monroe, Louisiana, Valdosta, Georgia, to bring civic education, leadership development, and hope to our fellow brothers and sisters, and thousands who are out of the way. This year was the last student election. We worked with groups, and we worked with black communities throughout together to make sure that the backbone of what American democracy aspires to be continues to exist. In my final words, our courage makes democracy possible, but it cannot succeed standing alone. Thank you.
The daughter made of love from and I am from the 9th Ward of New Orleans. And we do what we want to do in that 9th Ward in New Orleans. And I love when you say that. One thing I will tell you, we have to stand united. So before I get into the spiel of the speech and my call to action for you all, I need you to repeat after me. Y'all ready? I need y'all to be ready. Y'all ready? This is our movement, not a moment. This is our movement and not a moment. Let me tell you something about this war. Let me tell you something about our people. Sometimes we get tired. We sick and tired. But we are rude and not right. I am Lakita M. Smith, Executive Director and Founder of Rebellion Within Society. And I'm the force. I'm the power. And I am this civil rights movement. When I say I mean, because not all the time somebody can fly to DC and do this and stand on the steps of the Supreme Court. But I am my sister's keeper. I am my brother's keeper. And again, like they say in the night war, we do what we want. So we're here to do this thing. Because the last time I checked, after the didn't ask for permission. And if I see it on social media, I want to take a moment to thank all of you.
Yes, baby.
I know what it takes to do it. I stood here and did this as much in the rain, in the cold, for hours, as we hosted, as we waited on democracy. Today we're no longer waiting on democracy. We're taking democracy. Because power is rooted in what we believe. And I need to know that y'all believe. I need to know that y'all not playing. I need to know that y'all rooted and not white. So what that look like is doing your job when you go back home. Being kind. Understanding when we need some grace and mercy. Learning how to treat and talk to each other. It starts with us. They didn't go us to church. Latasha gave us everything we need. Melanie gave us everything we need. Normally I curse. I'm not going to curse, but y'all already know what type of day it is with me. Again, I'm going to remind you all. And I say it when I say it. Spend some time. I need y'all to do two things for me. Be in a moment right now where we are, where we stand united. One voice, one power, one people. The American people. The dream that they love to see. The culture that they love to mark. The skin tone that they're trying to get. The power and the voice that they're trying to stop. I need y'all in this moment with me. Because behind me, we have our people fighting. So in this moment, let's send the power, the love, the respect, the resiliency, the fight, everything that we need.
Which one? Protect that one?
To our people.
That one? Oh, I don't know.
Because why? It's all why. Is it power to the people?
No, I want actually want to use the one that's the reason why we're here. Yeah.
Is it power to the people?
Oh, the John Lewis side?
But here, listen,
Really?
we talk over everything.
1, 2.
We talk over everything. We shall not be moved. We shall not be shaken. One note. One note. All right. And do. We appreciate you standing here with us. We thank you. Because this is not easy. And as you travel back, don't be dismayed. We were moving change. We were moving change and we demand change. We are removing change. Let me hear you. Because we demand change.
I see a lot of familiar faces. I see a lot of people in our movement. And I thank you. To my friends and my family back home, I thank you for allowing me to do what I do. Thank you to LDF. Thank you to Power Coalition. Thank you for always believing in the dream of the people and putting the people and the power of the people first. We have our marching on, but it starts with us. And before I get them up here, we're going to say this one more time. We are rooted in that right. We are rooted in that right. Again, I'm Lakita M. Smith from the 9th Ward of Roland. And I ain't never been scared of shit.
I don't want to follow her some food.
All right. You say love, power. Love, power. Because be clear, that is why we are about love.
Does it have hot dogs over there? Hot dogs.
Not that we we're talking about love that is free and power that is free. That's why we are here today.
When you don't want to walk.
And so we're the Black Open Stand. April, Brother Cliff is going to join me. He didn't want to join me. I made him join me because he's been a fighter in this movement for this time. And so we wanted to make sure that he had something that his voice is also captured today. But I want to say this is not Holy Grail. Let's be clear. This is not Holy Grail. Because we know behind us, for centuries, they were the architect, were the architect of our terror. Starting with the Dred Scott decision. Deciding that in that time, even though this was a country that had, quote unquote, free states and non-enslaved states, despite that, this notice said it didn't matter where you lived as a black person in this country. White people had no rights. That black folks had no rights that white folks had to respect. So it didn't matter if you were in a free state. Your rights were not protected, and that started here. And so one of the first things this court did with its third branch felony is to nationalize slavery. So this is not Holy Grail. And even for a century after the enactment of the 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendment, it reigned there. It ignored the language of the 14th Amendment, ignored the language of the 15th Amendment, ignored the language of the 14th Amendment, and made it so that black folks couldn't go to the polls and vote without terror. And if you wanted to marry somebody of different race, you couldn't. And if you were a black child in this country, your education was not right for you. Right? These are the kind of decisions. It didn't matter. They said that even the 14th Amendment was in place, that some states could have Jim Crow laws that made it hard. So for 100 years after the 14th Amendment, this court continued to rain terror on our people. So no, it is not holy ground. But I'll tell you something about God. So a raven who has the nature of taking is a scavenger. It spends its day just finding food for itself. But God would have it so that when one of his prophets, who was dedicated to his word, needed something, God changed the nature of the raven and made him feed Elijah. So with that in mind, when the 1950s emerged, and our people, right? Black people, white people, Asian people, Jewish people, folks of all faiths and genders, decided that in this season we were going to fight for our rights. Guess what this SCOTUS did? This SCOTUS woke up, and in 1954 began to issue decisions that made it so that we can enter America's chamber and start to have our voices heard. But it just didn't stop with black folks. Because when we get our rights, right, everybody gets their rights. And so in this moment, we got some questions that we got to ask. We got two questions. I'm going to start with one question and flip it to the second question. The first question is to this SCOTUS, and so we got to help make sure SCOTUS hears us with these questions. So I want us to, when I get ready to ask a question, I want us to yell SCOTUS as loud as we can, right? So let's go. 1, 2, 3. SCOTUS! That ain't loud enough. SCOTUS! Say it loud. SCOTUS! Who are you going to be? Are you going to be Justice Taylor and the Dred Scott Court? Right. Who are you going to be? All right, SCOTUS. Louder, SCOTUS. Or are you going to be the Supreme Court, right, that ushers in more rights for black folks and white folks, right, and indigenous people, and poor people, right, and people of all different nations and ethnicities and religions? Are you going to be that SCOTUS in that moment? Because that's why we're here today.
I love your dog.
We are here to bear witness and let them know, depending on who you are, will define who we are in this moment. Because we have never been stopped by the Roland Supreme Court. Plessy didn't stop us, right? Dred Scott didn't stop us, and we're not going to stop today. So again, SCOTUS, SCOTUS, who are you going to be?
How y'all doing? So before I answer this question, I've been voluntold to pose. First, I got to get some support to figure out who we are. I got to figure out who's in the room. So if you are here from a southern state, I need to hear you make some noise. So before, I've got something to say, y'all. So before I answer the question about who we are, I got to tell you a little something about who I am, more importantly, what I'm feeling. And I got to be honest with y'all. Because there's times where a part of me, as we're here, and they're hearing this case, and we all know that it poses to kill the Voting Rights Act. There's a part of me that gets sad. There's a part of me that gets sad at the impending death of this thing that has meant so much. I feel that sadness. There's a part of me that feels weak, that feels small. As I stand there outside this huge building with so much history, I feel weak. Who am I? Who are we to be able to change this building? There's a part of me that feels frustrated, that feels empty, that feels like something's missing. I feel that today, y'all. And so you might say that in this moment that I'm mourning. You might say in this moment that I feel meek. You might say in this moment that I hunger and thirst for righteousness. But I got good news for you. Because I heard somewhere that blessed are those who mourn, for they shall be comforted. I heard that somewhere. I heard somewhere, LDF, I heard somewhere, blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth. I heard somewhere, y'all, that blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they shall be satisfied. So I'm here to tell you today that we're going to be satisfied. If the question is who am I, I'm here to tell you I'm blessed. The question is who are we? I'm here to tell you that we are blessed. Because we are blessed with power. We are blessed with the power when we believe, Sister Lakita, as you said, when we believe, somebody say believe. When we believe, we got the power to move mountains. We got the power to cross a bridge in a city called Selma and change the course of history. We got the power to make good trouble And we got the power to move this court. This court ain't nothing but another mountain for us to move. We've got that kind of power, but we got to believe, y'all. So I need all y'all to say it loud, say it in. Let me say, I believe. Say it from your heart, say, I believe. Say it from the depths of your soul, I believe. And when we believe, we win. Thank y'all.